Hey everybody, how you doing? Man, this cartoon is making me laugh. Oh my goodness, it's too funny. Okay, let's get to it. So yeah, I was watching it. So yeah, that's why I want to show the pictures. Some of y'all probably seen it too. So and it made me think about a current situation. Oh my goodness. I don't know. I want to know what you guys think. So here's the deal. I'm gonna go ahead and jump right into it. uh as we see this couple here. Now, if you've seen the cartoon, the couple that I'm referring to, we're looking at a couple that's sophisticated, and we've got a switcheroo that's gone on. Here's the deal. Have a man and a woman. Now, in this cartoon, this guy's kind of funny to me. But the guy is totally not like that. He's not complaining. Um, he comes from a family with a business, and they live by that creed. Okay. He's a businessman. He's been dating a woman. And I don't know if sometimes people hear about somebody getting along, and then if a girl gets like a decent man, that kind of thing, people gonna talk regardless. But sometimes I do think if it's a chick that maybe has, and everybody has a past, maybe sometimes some past are more questionable than others. Okay. So in this particular incident, I would have left it alone. I hear things. I can't confirm or deny. We all hear things. But when it comes to somebody's relationship, I just personally I would have left it alone. It's not my place to tell what I heard or what someone may or may not have done. So here's the deal. Sorry, my allergies. I've been outside. Like, oh my God. So here's the deal. It seems to be really serious, and it's going along, quite well. And so in the seriousness of this relationship, they're talking about, hey, planning their future together. Oh, hey, might be a wedding, you know what I mean? Neither party has children. So I think that's going to be a good thing for them because they can both have, kids together. You know what I'm saying? We don't want any drama. The kids might not like you. They want their dad to be with their mama. You know how that can go. So I think that's a good thing. They can start out hopefully having a family together. If it gets to that point. Because right now we got a little problem. So I know they say, oh, well, your past can catch up with you. I know about that. I heard about that. And maybe that's what this is, unfortunately, for the lady. And what the past is, now it's been a little hiccup because the lady in the relationship, and again, I want to know what you all think, she was dating a married man. All right. She was dating a married man. And from what I understand, they had gotten to the point where, hey, they're like, oh, yeah, listen, we already know everything about each other. There are no surprises. I know about her. So, I know all that there is to know. That's my understanding of the couple. However, people hear good news, people are going to talk, and maybe your past, as I said before, sometimes, what we did yesterday can affect us today. And maybe that's what this is. Because, unfortunately, she had an affair with a married man, and it has gotten out, and the man that she was dating, his mom has met her and all that. It has gotten out. Someone's like, oh, well, they don't know this about her, blah, 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 blah. And here we go. And I'm like, man, is this like haterade? You know what I'm saying? Then I thought about it. I said, well, you never know. It probably was going to come out regardless, if you think about it. It's a high probability that this was going to come out regardless. And maybe now, then later, because then people are like, why didn't you say anything? And me personally, that's not how I operate. So for me personally, if you leave it up to me, I never would have said anything because that's just not, it's not my place. That's how I see it. You know what I'm saying? And I cannot confirm or deny. I just know what I heard. So in a situation like this here, just my personality, I'm not one that's gonna go, oh yeah, well, you know this about her. I just don't operate that way. That's not my life. It doesn't affect me, and it's negative energy. That's just not who I am. I'm just keep my mouth shut. So anyway, when the news gets out, and he has done very well financially. They do have a nice little, standing in their community. Again, they're business oriented. We're talking about generational wealth. The wealth that that family has now, hey, that was passed down. So this isn't new money. Nah, this is not it. So it's kind of gotten out, and now the mother knows about it. Uh, I think the man was one of the men in the so-called church that they have been affiliated with. And it was like, oh, but that was years ago. That was a long, long time ago. But now it's gotten out. So now the man's mother, she's feeling some type of way. And now all of a sudden, he's acting a little standoffish from her. And just, at first it was like, okay, because he's the kind of person that handles business. We're going to do this, that, and it's going to happen. And boom. And now we're looking at the relationship is not over, but she's noticed the difference. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, noticed the difference. And it has been said, now this I can tell you personally from the horse's mouth. He questions her character. Yeah. How do I know that? Because that's what he said. That's what he told me. He's starting to question her character. And he's like, you know that? That's what his words were. I just questioned her character. That's in her past, I understand, but he questions her character, and he just says, um, he had little issues because the families are different, and he's like, with her family, they're working class people, nothing wrong with that. Heck, in this day and age, the fact that you can work is great, but they operate a little differently. And he was like, I do kind of think about, with her, we get married, my kids, they're gonna be around like her family. And he's like, yeah, I do look at that. And that's common, that's not unusual. He's like, I do look at that. And he's like, I just want to kind of watch the exposure. So, as I said before about women, this is your man that you're dating, not your mama's man. And you meet a man that's of quality, don't try to use that to pull your whole family up. This is not a good idea. So anyway, now that has gotten out, it had to be, it was, and maybe it was going to come out eventually. Better, maybe it's better now than later, because who wants to have a wedding and then it comes out during the wedding, or you know what I'm saying? So now it has gotten out about her past, and he's kind of acting different. So I just kind of want to know, and he told me that he questions her character. So I just kind of want to know, what do y'all think? It's like, man, I guess a person would need to know. But is this an issue where maybe her past has caught up with her? And this is a grown woman. It's not some silly girl, 19 or 20, doing something silly. No, this is a full-fledged, woman. So I'm like, do you think it's a situation where, hey, that happened in her past, he needs to leave it there, you know? Or do you think that maybe his kind of backing up, or having, being having some reservations? Do you think it's valid? Because I mean, me personally, I really don't know. I'm like, well, man, that was in her past, but maybe it's I guess it's like it's caught up with her. But yeah, he seems to question her character, and she's and something like that. I know when to keep my mouth shut. I know how to just smile. That's not something I would go and say, oh, and he said, no. Oh my God, I would never do that. Oh my God, never. But it's like, dang, how do you process this? Is he wrong? I mean, I can understand his feelings, but for him to question her character and trying to back it up, do you think that maybe, is this some type of karma activity? Do you think that, hey, maybe he should just let it go? That happened in the past, it was way before. Or do you think also too, maybe another issue that it could be, and I thought about, maybe it's the fact that they thought they had everything out on the table, and maybe they didn't, because this came out and he had no idea. So I'm like, maybe is that it, a trust factor that, hey, maybe she should have told him about this, but now you're hearing it through somebody else, then it comes full, throttle, and it's like, oh yeah, that did happen. You know what I mean? So I don't, people are talking in his ear. Then, like I said, it just seems like everything was going okay. Then this came up, and like I said, he questioned her character, and she's like, he's really acting different. He's kind of slowing down. He's, maybe he's got a lot to think about. But I want to know what you all think. It's just not so, it's just not a easy deal. And we're talking about, like I said, somebody talking about getting married. He questions her character, the mother of his children. Is he wondering, hey, is she one of those kind of chick? And then next thing I turn my back, she might have she might date another married guy on me. I don't know, but I just know all of a sudden things have definitely changed for her, and it's not in a good way. So what do y'all think? It's just so many layers to it. Like, um, maybe I'm moving this thing just so you know, this laptop. Maybe somebody, I don't know, maybe someone shouldn't have said anything, but it's out there. You know what I'm saying? And maybe it's better now that someone says something than to, hear about it much later. But yeah, it has caused a problem. Are you surprised that this happened? Should he just roll with it and say, hey, that was in the past, we're moving on, try to resolve this, maybe a trust issue or character? But yeah, he did say he definitely, um, he questions her character. So it's like, wow, if he's changing up, you, things might change for the relationship may change. So what do y'all think? Like I said, there's so many layers. Maybe he did have the right to know ahead of time because they thought that they knew everything about each other. But is it her past catching up with her? And in that family, a lot of people, they just don't take kindly to that. You know what I mean? Sometimes the things you did yesterday, it will affect her today. It just does. But it is just kind of, to me, it's just not so, how shall I say? To me, it's just not so cut and dry, you know? And you can't erase what happened. Or maybe she should have told him. Maybe she didn't want to tell him because she knew what kind of family he came from. And I don't know all the details behind closed doors, but I do know what I see, what people present. And people present a certain image. And when you say when you kind of question someone's character, to me that's a major deal. So what do you think? Maybe she should have told him ahead of time and got in front of it. So when this, they could have worked this out personally. But when she didn't tell him, and somebody brings it up and it is true, you know, it's a tough call. But yeah, he said he questions her character, and as far as like, having a family, um, that's a big deal. So is this maybe her karma? And I know some people don't believe in it. That's fine. I do. But I mean, is it something that maybe he should just move on and say, hey, that happened before me? But the fact that, dating a married man and somebody in the so-called church, and even though it was years ago, man, it's like, wow, I just don't know what to say. I really don't. And when it gets like that, when it comes to people like that, let's talk about everything else, but because I have no idea. That's not my relationship. I just stand back. But I wonder what you all think. I mean, it's just, I was like, man, look at that. It's already out, and he's acting, and oh, and by the way, in case you're wondering, she has already copped to it that, oh yeah, that did happen. I was ashamed, I was embarrassed, yada yada yada. But she did cop to it after the fact. So what do you think? Do you think that he's justified in kind of backing that train up on old girl, saying that he questions her character? Do you think that they can work through this? Should he, like I said, at this point, I don't know. It's just like, wow, maybe they can work through it. I don't know. But what do y'all think about it? It's just so many layers to it. It's like, oh, I just don't know. But yeah, so ladies, and gentlemen, The things done yesterday can have effect. The things in our past can affect our future. Anyway, for all the traders, I hope you all trade today, make some serious money. I hope you do. All the traders in the house, people on their jobs, I wish you a smooth day, no stress, no drama, please, no layoffs. I'm wishing us all happiness, love, wealth, and health. So this, I just thought it was so sticky. I was like, oh my gosh, he's starting to, because of something that happened, not between them, but what happened in her past, it has like put a damper on things. I don't know what to say. It's just, ooh, you know, it's a tough one. Anyway, thanks for watching. Feel free to comment, like, subscribe, and share. Let me know what you all think. Think about this. I guess these things do happen. Should they just, hey, move on and say, hey, that's the past? Let's just move on. Is that easy to do? And the fact that he has reservations, is that normal? What do y'all think about it? Should he let bygones be bygones and say, hey, I accept her, I love her, we're just going to go ahead and continue our relationship? Can they get over this hurdle? I have no idea. So let me know what you all think, and I'm out.